Hey folks, so as the title implies, I'm going to be doing a Legion Remix 10 to 80 speedrun in this video, duh. But Legion Remix is a little bit weird. There's a lot of factors at play, so before I get into the run itself, I am going to sit here a little bit and talk through all of the circumstances around this run and the restrictions that I'm going to be putting in place on myself to make this a little bit more fair. If you don't want to watch any of that, and you just want to skip to the part where I start pressing Thrash and Mangle and Moonfire and all that fun stuff, I'll put a timestamp in the description. But I do think that this is important context to understand what the purpose of this run is and how it fits into the, I guess, general recommended leveling strategies for people in Legion Remix. So, if you somehow missed it, a few weeks ago, I put a video on my main channel. I boosted one of my characters, specifically this character, Nerf This Please, which, you know, obviously picked a fitting name, and I boosted that character in 36 minutes. So the reality is that open world boosting in Heroic World Tier is ridiculously overpowered, and it has proven to be the best leveling strategy. In that video, I said this will get beaten almost instantly, and I was right. To my knowledge, there's a time of like 17 minutes already. People have gotten some crazy strategies. Once it got down to like 20 minutes, people started integrating like server hopping to get the mobs to instantly respawn. There's a lot of stuff that you can do to push that time down. Now, I'm not going to be doing specifically that here. This is a solo run. I'm only using this character. And to make it even more restrictive, I am not allowed to group at all. So, for reference, I have already done a test where I played completely solo, but I did form my own raid groups with completely random people and run normal Emerald Nightmare, normal Nighthold, etc. And that took me like 53 minutes, I think. And although I didn't have any external help, you know, from friends or my own accounts and stuff like that, just random pug groups, you can get really fast times running raids, and dungeons are nice to mix in if you want. The problem with stuff like that is it's inherently subject to chance. Although, yes, I didn't have an insanely overpowered group, none of the characters were as strong as like my main account Demon Hunter, it still had a bunch of 740 players who were clearing it really quickly because they wanted to farm infinite power. But then, if I were to do that as a speedrun, somebody could rightfully say, well, what if I don't have access to 740 people to help carry me? Even though you can just post the group and wait for them to apply. It took me like 5 minutes to form each group. I included that in the / playtime. But, you know, there's always going to be a, but what if I don't have XYZ thing? And there's no perfect solution to that in the context of something like this in Legion Remix. So, really, the only way to, I think, judge times is a completely solo, no grouping, no group content whatsoever run, just your own character, that's all you have, and then, like, you know, all bets are off, you can do whatever you want to level, no restrictions, etc. Now, I am currently working on a run like that in the future. I don't know exactly how fast it's going to be. We're thinking maybe sub 10 minutes if we're really lucky. I have a lot of cool ideas for that. By the way, I want to say this now. If you are interested in helping me with that run, it's going to require a lot of people to pitch in. We have some crazy ideas, but currently we think we'll need probably 30 to 40 people. And right now we have like 10 or 12. As we get closer, I'm probably going to put out like a big Discord post and like, you know, a call to action like, hey, I need people, help me out, that kind of thing. I did that with the Mop Remix one, and that got like a lot of people to join in. But we're still a few weeks out from putting the finishing touches on that, so I'm not going to do that just yet. But if you are interested in helping me, reach out to me on Discord and I'll see if I can find you a spot. We have a lot of room right now, very flexible. But that is going to be a super optimized run where, like I said, all bets are off. We're going to do literally everything we can to cut as much time as possible. But I still think it would be nice to have a benchmark of like, okay, but what if in the same situation I was only left to my own devices and that's all I had? And then there's kind of a further discrepancy of what about your XP percent? What if I only have 100% XP. I only have 200%. And, like, this is a question that I have been getting asked nonstop over the last few weeks. I'll, like, give somebody suggestions on, like, run raids, do your daily dungeon, do infinite reap, blah, blah, blah. They're like, but I only have 236% XP. What should I do? I'm like, I don't fucking know, man. I'm not a fucking human calculator. I can't, like, crunch the numbers and tell you, your exact XP percent, this is your path. It's impossible to say. So, for the purpose, I guess, of determining what the fastest leveling methods are, in that sense, for XP percent, there's really only two ways to do it. Either complete brand new fresh account, or you're already at the max, which is 400%. And mind you, I will say this again, I say this in like every single video, and I still get comments like, oh, this requires 400%. It's so fucking easy to get 400% XP. Please, please, if you are not at 400% XP, do yourself a favor, watch my video. I will link it in the description and in the pinned comment again, because people somehow seem to be missing it. Again, it's so easy. The problem is it requires using starter edition accounts, which, like, somehow people get, like, a mental block, and they're like, oh, I have to multi-box? And in fairness, some people have really crappy computers, and if that's your situation, yeah, that sucks. But the amount of processing power it takes to run one more instance of World of Warcraft, if you don't want to run, like, a full dungeon group, just run one additional account, put all the settings at, like, bare minimum, /follow your main, and just drag as many starter accounts as your computer can handle through dungeons, do the steps in that video, right? And you're basically doubling, tripling, quadrupling the rate at which you earn XP tokens. And if you follow the steps in that video to dedicated farm it up, I literally went from like 170% XP to 400% in a fucking afternoon. It's so easy to farm it if you just put in the time. And people are sitting here leveling tons of alts at like 200% XP, and they could spend a fraction of that time doing this strategy, getting the max bonus, and it would save them hours and hours and hours in the long run. So please, please, get to 400%. That is the best thing that you can do if you're trying to level characters, many characters, over a longer period of time. If you just want to level 1 alt, 3 alts, or something like that, yeah, maybe it's not worth it. But the vast majority of people who tell me this are trying to level a lot of different alts. Oh, I want to level 1 of every class. I want to level 2 of every monk or race or whatever. I don't know. If that's your goal, XP percent. Focus on that first. So, it should go without saying that for the purposes of this run, I have max XP percent. I also have max infinite knowledge. Now, that's a bit of an interesting one, because infinite knowledge in a lot of situations doesn't matter. Vast majority of people, if you're just jumping into raids at level 20 and getting yourself effectively boosted by random people from 20 to 80, your infinite knowledge doesn't mean shit. It doesn't affect your experience gain, it only affects the rate at which you gain artifact power. However, for this run, I have to rely entirely on myself, and for this type of run, infinite knowledge actually is very important, because the faster that you unlock all of your artifact traits, the better your character becomes. So, you're going to hit a point where scaling is going to start kicking your ass, and if you have every single artifact trait unlocked, well, it'll be a lot easier to handle the rest of the run. Now, for reference, the strategies that I've used, or the strategies that I will be using this run, I've tested a lot over the last few weeks. I've done them on and off to like partially level characters, because I've been testing a lot of different things. And just like an hour or so ago, I did one full test run. You can even see, where's the restored, I guess the restore deleted character button isn't showing up. But I actually leveled the character up to 80, exact same name, deleted it. So I have actually deleted a level 80 character. I just don't have room. What can I say? But with leveling speeds like this, it doesn't even matter. I'm only doing this for demonstration purposes anyway. But I leveled that character, and it took me 1 hour and 23 minutes using this. And that wasn't super optimized. I know I can shave that time, because I was also farming something like semi-AFK on my main account in the background, because I have 2 accounts, right? So I would tab over for like 30 seconds at a time to loot a bunch of mobs. So I lost multiple minutes to that for sure, and I was half AFK watching The Sopranos on my second monitor while I did this, so I definitely can get it faster. I don't know if I can get sub 1 hour with this strategy. Probably not. I think that might be a bit of a stretch, but I'm fairly certain that this is a good method. But, you know, it's not the easiest to pull off, and when I was testing it, I actually maxed out my artifact tree, like reached the final node, because Limits Unbound isn't available until level 80, so if you get Fellspike, or whatever trait you're using, that is the highest it goes. That's the best you can do. I did that at like level 70 or something like that. I have max infinite knowledge, that's available as of TOS phase, but if you are not max infinite knowledge, you might still have, you know, a bit of farming to go before you get to the end there. You might not actually reach it. And because of that, obviously everybody knows the Fell tree is really good when you get Fell Spike, so I switched to Fell once I unlock that, and in this run I'll probably do the same thing. But as you'll see, there are other trees that are good at lower infinite knowledge levels, specifically Storm at this point. It used to be that I was like, yeah, both Storm and Arcane are pretty good. They still are, but I think Storm is just better. It got much more substantial buffs than Arcane, and Arcane is like really annoying, really inflexible. Also, Volatile Magics, while it is good at high crit levels, at low crit levels, it's just significantly worse than Terror from Below, so I am almost exclusively going to be using the Storm Tree until I unlock Fellspike, and then we'll probably switch over. Just for reference. And now I'm going to take a long sip of coffee. Because it is currently 9 a.m. I've been up all night, and I still gotta lock in and do this fucking run. But yeah, the other thing that I want to say, before we get in, and I think you'll understand why I'm saying this, is obviously this run is still going to be a little bit cheesy. And I guarantee you some people are going to be like, oh, this is stupid, you know, I can't believe that this is like the fastest leveling method for solo players. And what I want to make clear is that if you are at 400% XP and you just kind of do generally efficient questing, you probably could get to max level in like an hour and a half, an hour 40 minutes if you really wanted to. And as I said before, I don't even think that's the fastest way to do it solo. Like, I'm putting restrictions on myself here, but you can just queue for raids. You can just make your own group. It fills really quickly. Trust me, just list your own group in the Finder. So many people are terrified of doing that, and they'll instead sit there for 10 minutes and, like, spam apply to 50 normal Emerald Nightmare groups. Just create your own group. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to look at what the leader has. Everybody knows it's probably a low level trying to get carried. That's part of the deal. I carry people all the time on my main. It's fine. Nobody will bat an eye. And I'm not going to do that in this run, but I reckon that if you do that, it's going to be even faster for you. I got fairly lucky in that 53-minute, like, test run that I did. I could probably shave off more time, even still, but even if you did that, like, and got really crappy players and it took a little bit longer, raids are just very efficient, and you could very easily get 1080 in 1 hour completely solo, bare minimum effort doing that. And if you want tips on how to do that, obviously I'm still working on my gigantic remix guide. Who fucking knows when that's going to be out? Hopefully soon, but I want to get all tests like this stuff done before I finalize that. But this is just more so to demonstrate that even if you don't rely on literally anybody else, you can, with the 400% bonus and efficient use of all of the things that Remix has to offer, primarily Heroic World Tier, Infinite Research, blah-de-blah, you can get there. It's not that hard, and yeah, I'm going to show you how. So, long intro over. Sure, there's going to be other things that I'm going to yap about as we get into it, but I think we're good to go. You also notice that I'm not using a timer, and that's mostly because I want to use /played for this. The timer helps, I think, for, like, cinematic purposes, but yeah, it's weird. It's, for stuff like this, I think it's just better to go by /played, and whenever we get into, like, categories like this where, like, way more people are using /played as a reference to judge it, it just becomes, like, an easier form of measurement. Because that's what everybody's, like, screenshotting and comparing, so we'll just go by that anyway. Can't really fake it. There are ways to cheese /played, but they require, like, logging out, logging back in, which, you know, I won't be doing for the purposes of this. Unskippable cutscene at the start. You know, obviously I'm going Guardian here. Okay, we're gonna do this, skip, over here. And I did, what's it called? I did, before I went in here, I set up some stuff. Okay, actually, ooh, holy shit, we got the hat trick. That's insane. Okay, this is actually a very lucky start. I should note, by the way, I haven't done a ton of extensive practice on this. And I'm not going to do that much. Like, I'm not going to regularly speedrun this, like, category that I've created for myself here. That's not going to happen. But, like I said, I've done at least that one test earlier, and I've done a bunch of, like, random tests, and for the purposes of this category, this is an exceptional start. I'll try to explain why. Obviously, there's a lot that we have to do right at the start here, so I'm trying to get that going. I can explain some of my methodology here in a moment when we get some time, because there is going to be a lot of forced roleplay, so we won't need to worry. Like, basically, I'll have plenty of time to sit here and yap. Okay, I got a kind of a shitty ring. It's whatever. You can't expect to get the best stuff all the time. I did actually get very good jewelry on my last run, so, you know, the RNG balances out, right? Get a really good jewelry one time, and then insane infinite research another. No, honestly, the infinite research is probably better. That's really, 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 really good. Events are all stuff.
Hey man, you not be coming to Zentabra for some fish, so
And then
to see if we can really be
Naralex.
This gonna be needing everything we have to give.
I should also note, by the way, obviously I'm playing Druid for this. Like I said, this strategy, the specific strategy that I'm going to be using, is not the easiest to pull off. I would say it probably requires you to play a tank class. Now, as for which tank you play, that's kind of up to you. The only one I wouldn't really recommend playing is Vengeance, because Vengeance is just honestly complete trash at lower levels. It only gets really good towards the end, when you have, like, all of the frailty talents, which are all in the capstone section. And the problem with that is, as you probably already know, scaling is at its worst at the higher levels. Whereas Guardian Druid starts off pretty strong and then only gets better as you get to a lot of the really strong capstone stuff. So, is Guardian Druid the absolute best for this? Honestly, I don't know if it's the best. I think it might be, otherwise I wouldn't be playing it for the purposes of this test. But there's a case to be made for Blood DK, there's a case to be made for Prot Paladin. I thought about using both of those. But I think, for a variety of reasons that I will explain as we get in here, Druid just works out better. None of those reasons are relevant here, though. You always have to do your... Well, technically, you don't have to do this intro, right? It's not a mandatory part, but for the purposes of this run, the reality is you may as well do it. I don't want to have Heroic World Tier on, but I can do Temporal Retreat here. And I don't lose any time, because we have to wait on this roleplay anyway. I wanted to enable it just because that gets the quest thing out of the way. But yeah, we're fine. Do that. Oh, did it bug out? Because I think it phased me. I actually never even thought about that. Ah, shit. It's fine. Okay, yeah. I lose a tiny bit of time there. But I think, yeah, I'm just going to be able to pick that up. Oh, well, small mistake. Like I said, mostly for demonstration purposes. I'm not going to redo the entire run if I make a tiny little error here. That's kind of not the point of this. Especially not something like that. That's so inconsequential. But yeah, now I have a little bit of time so I can mess around fixing some of my keybinds and whatnot. We can go here. I can put my shifts into the right spot. I can put dash over there.
No, the nightmare in this part of the dream. How is it possible? I will cleanse these nightmare
Stuff over there.
from our path. Go forth and
Okay, so one thing that I want to comment on.
spawn them.
I've talked about this a lot in earlier streams and stuff like that. I have done enough testing at this point. I have done runs. Not like this exact type of test run, but I did do a run as Demon Hunter, where I was in Heroic World Tier the entire time. I forced myself to enable it right out at the start, and then I played with it the entire way. And Demon Hunter is actually one of the better options for that. But it was still... The early levels felt really slow. I was actually able to survive. I only died once that entire run. And I actually did it as Havoc, not as Vengeance. But I was really, really, really struggling. And I had to be very careful and do, like, a lot of kiting and stuff. And I felt like I just lost so much time. And then when I got to, like, level 40, it was generally pretty fine. And Heroic World Tier didn't feel too bad. Once I had, like, all my gear, some good talents and stuff like that. But I genuinely believe that Heroic World Tier is just a waste of time at low levels. I genuinely do not think that it is worth. Especially since a lot of these quests are, like, mostly just talking to NPCs. And there's not actually, like, any real advantage. By the way, it doesn't affect quest XP. I think that's something that some people have, like, gotten into their heads. Which, like, obviously doesn't affect quest XP. That would be stupid. It only affects mob kill XP. So the idea of, like, temporarily switching into Heroic World Tier is just insane. I think one thing that a lot of people have suggested is, yeah, no, this I do now. Yeah. Right. Something that I think a lot of people have gotten tripped up on is a little cheesy strategy that many people have recommended in the past is, oh, what if you put on normal world tier, and then you go kill a bunch of quest mobs, and then you set it back to Heroic World Tier, and then, like, turn in a bunch of quests or something like that, and, like, I don't know, it's... There have been strategies in the past like that where it worked, but, like, obviously that doesn't really change anything. At that point, just stay in normal World Tier. I've heard people give suggestions like that, and I'm just like, do you understand how the buff works? Like, that wouldn't actually save time, but I don't know, it's confusing, man. But yeah, basically, you're only doing Heroic World Tier if you're able to efficiently kill mobs, and you can find a place where farming mobs is actually a good use of your time. Otherwise, doing quests with the 400% XP bonus, or, you know, raid bosses or whatever, is just more worth your time. Now, that being said, if you're doing raids, the thing I mentioned earlier, turn on Heroic World Tier. That's worth it. Because the damage that mobs do to you doesn't mean anything if you're getting boosted anyway. At that point, you're just getting more XP. But if you actually have to kill mobs on your own, well, then that's a problem. Okay, that is a holy shit. Wow, that is a good start. The big thing is Band of Callous Dominance right out of the gate, rank 3. That is going to last us the entire way. So that is pretty big. Quite happy with that. Alright. Did just do all this, so I generally remember it, but I've never done the Feral Weapon. I guess I can talk about that a little bit. So, obviously I gotta start as Guardian. Right? That's a no-brainer. But I feel that the Feral Weapon is a little bit better. Like, the quest line. Ashen Rescued. Okay, I think it's... yeah, this Ashen Druid. I haven't done this one a ton, but I did some, like, initial testing with a lot of these just to get a feel for it. And the Feral Druid one feels like a good... like, it's pretty quick to do, and it's close by in Val-Shiraz. There's not a lot of travel time and whatnot. Overall, I feel this is probably the fastest one to do. And you always want to at least unlock one of your artifact weapons. It doesn't necessarily need to be the one that you started off with. And part of this is because it gives you access to a bunch of really good quests in your order hall. So, for levels 10 to 20, in my opinion, you have two good options. You either do exactly what I'm doing here, or you do, like, a single normal dungeon with, like, a normal dungeon infinite research. At 400% XP, that might be enough to get you almost all the way there anyways. But obviously, I can't do dungeons as part of this, and if you're not a tank or a healer, the dungeon queue times might be really long. So maybe you just do this anyway while you wait for a dungeon to pop. But that's the best way to get started. And then I would say, once you're level 20, as we mentioned before, just do your raids. But if you are not doing raids, like, you know, I won't be doing raids in this video, then you can maybe do some of the strategies that I showcase here. That's kind of what I'm hoping to demonstrate with this. Let's do a big pull here. Because there's decent mob density here. So it is worth it. What I'm trying to do, I don't want to spoil it just yet, but the big breakpoint that I'm trying to get to is level 30. At level 30, we get a lot of cool stuff, but it's a little bit weird. It's hard to explain exactly. I'm trying to debate how much do I say right now, and how much do I, let you see when we get there. Because obviously, if you're watching the run, you'll find out eventually. I want that. So I want to eventually path to something. I guess I just have to wait for the roleplay to start. Okay. I have only done the Feral Druid Unlock questline once, and it was, just like, the last run. Going. But another thing that you need to be mindful of, and this is one of the reasons why unlocking the Order Hall and stuff is really good, is when you hit level 70... It's being cat form. Okay. Unskippable cutscene. Alright. When you hit level 70, obviously the scaling hits a brick wall. This has been an issue that many people have realized. There's no easy way to get around it. The best thing that you can do to bypass this, and I'm going to be trying to do that a little bit in this run. I'm not too concerned about it, because it's less of a problem if you're a tank. And the reality is, if you're ever really struggling with that stuff, you can just turn off Heroic World Tier. And on normal World Tier, scaling's not that bad. It's really not a big deal. But if you're really having a hard time, you want to save up a lot of quests right before... What am I in combat with, man? Oh, this guy hasn't spawned yet. Okay. Yeah, actually, that's really good. I've gotten a lot of early epic items. That is quite nice. Let's, through here. Yeah, no loot on any of these mobs. As you go throughout the run, looting actually is kind of important here, because in a lot of situations in speedruns, it's good practice to, not loot the mobs, because if they don't give you quest items, it doesn't matter. But here, you get infinite power from a lot of mobs, and as you might imagine, infinite power will save you a lot of time in the long run, because that'll make your character stronger. Okay, we got some roleplay here. I can even clean up some bag space here. Scrapping stuff is also kind of important in some cases, because it can give you mounds of Artifactium sand. And as the run goes on, your artifact will start to fall behind a lot. So every now and then doing a big scrapping of items can give you a lot of weapon item level. And that will make it so you don't just fall over and die, which is quite nice. But yeah, I forget exactly where I kind of got distracted. But one of the biggest things you want to do is stack up a bunch of quests that are ready to turn in the moment you hit level 70. So you complete them earlier, but you don't actually get the reward. The reason why this works... Let's try it. I think that speeds him up a little bit. Don't know for sure, but... Coping. Maybe.
It's rare that I'm proven wrong. In this case, I'm pleased that I was. You are already more powerful than many senior members of our order. Still, I sense that even
I'm gonna keep that, yeah.
what
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so another thing a lot of people know is that whenever you get a box, early on I wasn't sure how it worked. So in some earlier live streams, a bunch of people were correcting me. I was like, oh, maybe you can save the loot. No. The moment the box goes into your bags, the loot is determined. However, that is the key word there. The moment it goes into your bags. If you have a quest completed, but you don't actually turn it in, you just save the completion until level 70, then the box is considered as a level 70 box. So pre-completing a bunch of quests and doing a big turn-in, that is really valuable. Same goes for infinite research. And we will be doing that. Also, you'll see here, lots of roleplay, might be worth skipping, but trust me, you want to do this stuff. But right after this, we're going to leave. So we're going to Do that. And actually, I think this quest I want to hold. I don't want to pick up anything else. All right, we're gonna do this, and I don't have. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. I'm gonna Hearthstone now, and we're gonna go to Val'sharah. I'm gonna turn in my current infinite research. I'm gonna grab the new one, and you have to strike a good balance between handing in your infinite researches to get new ones, and banking up the current infinite researches to turn in level 70. At this point, we're so early in the run that I should be able to complete whatever new one I get. And also, I definitely want to pick up Fell Skies. What I'm hoping for is none of these. Another thing a lot of people don't realize, you can re-roll. You get these things. It requires an achievement. Nothing great here, unfortunately. Yeah, so... one of the sucky parts about the limitations of this challenge, it doesn't look like I get a free roll here. It sucks. I'm gonna just pick this up just to get it out of the way. And I'm doing that because that'll be important later on. Yeah, no, I think my preferences are fine. There's nothing to be done there. And then we're gonna dreamwalk to get back. Like, yeah, it's fine. What I was hoping for there is I could have gotten collect time motes. That way I could have knocked it out at the same time as the kill 50 Legion demons. Didn't happen. Unlucky. But considering I got really good luck earlier, it averages out, right? We're fine. I also get another piece of gear. Getting a nice early gear here will help. But considering there was a chance there that I could have gotten something extra, I think it was worth it. I'm going to use my scroll here. And now we just fly to Val'sharah. So, actually, I'm losing a little bit of time being indecisive. I actually do think this gives me the strike point, yes. So, I'm going to just take the Val'sharah quest here because that's free XP, and then the one after this is the one I want to wait on. I'm going to grab the quest, and I'll pick Guardian, and then we're going to turn off Leatrix Plus, and I'm just going to... I got the other quest already. Alright, perfect. On. That way I get the Val'sharah quest, but all this other stuff we're saving for later. It's hard to tell right now, because it looks like I only have like 1 or 2 quests, but there's actually a lot of quests that you're about to get in quick succession. It's like 5 or more. So all of those quests I can save until I get to level 70, and then that'll give me not only a big chunk of XP, but it'll also give me a lot of replacement gear. So I won't be as affected by that speed bump. And I'd recommend that is the case for every single class order hall. You might have a slightly different breakpoint, but in all situations, you will have some point where that happens, where it's like, pick a strike point, and then immediately after, there's like a big cluster of quests that you can do that are really efficient. So no matter what class you're playing, the moment you pick a strike point, just wait, and save all of those for later. It will make your life easier. Because they don't require you to kill anything. It's just boom, 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 talk to this guy, get a quest. And every single quest in Legion Remix gives you one of these boxes. Can't open it while I'm riding an Alfurion. Unlucky.
Make ready, hero.
Oh, and as far as... I think I swallowed my coffee a little bit too fast. But yeah, as far as general efficient questing goes, Val'sharah is the best zone by far. It's not even close. I would say High Mountain is probably the second best, though Azuna has some sections that are comparable, and Stormheim... While Stormheim is my personal favorite zone in terms of just vibes, it is unfortunately very slow. So that is definitely not the one you want to level in. But Val'sharah is insane. The nice thing about Val'sharah is the best parts of it are completely front-loaded. So, especially on really high XP, you don't even need to do anything else. Just only quest in Val'sharah, and that's enough to get you there. You can see here, right? Like, already we get 3 quests, and they all direct us to these little hubs. Fantastic. And then each of these is going to give us more quests, and each of these is a bonus objective tied to it. Val'sharah is beautiful. It's really, 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 really good. I do want to quickly open all these boxes, though, because some of these might give me upgrades. Yeah, that's fine. Jesus, another purple. Okay, I have some crappy jewelry here. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to try and scrap some of this stuff to get a bit of artifactium sand. And we got some, so it paid off. And that'll help. Because I need to make sure that my character is super duper powerful by the time I hit, like, level 30-ish. And then at level 30, stage 2 of this run kicks into high gear. I would say I can separate my strategy for this run into, like, 3 key stages. There is the early, like, what I'm doing right now, you know, getting the artifact stuff set up, getting to Val'sharah, etc. Then there is level 30 onwards. And you'll see what we do there. And then there is level 70 to 80. And now, part of the 70 to 80 process, obviously, we're doing right now. We're doing all this setup to make sure that that part is smooth. But that obviously is a bit of a change, because we are going to have to take a detour from what we're doing up until level 70 and go get all that stuff set up. Alright, so I would like to get this progress bar relatively filled, but not completely filled. I want to leave it at, like, ideally 99%. So I am going to try and kill a bunch of mobs, right? I'm not going to pull one at a time. But I want to make sure I don't overpull, and I don't hit, like, 98%, and then I accidentally, like, stepped on one of those eggs, and now the bonus objective is complete. Because ideally I'd like to leave this stuff also for level 70 plus. That is the plan. Do this. Some of this stuff is bonus objective things. This bonus objective in particular, I can leave it at a much lower level because it is... like, these eggs, if you just step on them, it gives you progress towards the bonus objective. And what that means is that even if it's at, like, 70%, it won't be. But if it is, it's actually not that big of a deal. Did I mess up? I think I might be at 99%. Actually, no, I think I fucked it up and I got it at 100%. Oh, well. Actually, I did one mob too many. Alright. Unlucky. So the exact thing I said I was trying to make not happen, I did. Doesn't really matter. It's, what's it called? I don't need literally every single one of these quests for 70 plus, especially because we have so many from the Order Hall. Let's do that. Let's do that. But I am trying to save as much as I can. So I'm saving those other quests. You can see I completed them, but I didn't turn them in. That's intentional. We're going to leave that because then we're going to turn in those 2 quests at level 70, and then it's going to give us another quest saying, like, return to Lordanil, whatever the town's called. So it's, you know, nice big chunk. This stuff we're going to turn in some of these earlier quests because we get follow-ups. So there's going to be, like, a little chain here, and then we're going to get a bunch after the fact that I'll turn in. And then I'm also going to do some of the early quests in the next area. And then we are going to head back after that. So I just realized this just says Nightmare Totem destroyed. I actually don't need to fight that guy. Normally he'll just interrupt you, but that's just like W Druid shit. Light form just kind of cheeses the game, so yeah, I'll take it. Is that like... Did each quest give me a level? Jeez. Yeah, so... Honestly, I'm not going to be just doing the entire Val'sharah campaign as part of this run, but if you want to, you honestly could. Val'sharah is just really, really, really good. The quest density here is just absurd. It is so, so, so good. Did I Right, I have to wait for her to wake up. Nah.
The sleepers have... Give me a moment to catch my breath, hero. Long years of vigil have taken their toll.
Stuck in a fucking tree branch. It's... Definitely don't want to... Sure. It's fine. What about boots? Yeah, no, those are the crappy boots. Okay. Am I missing any slots? Now, I have something in every slot. A lot of it's epic. That's good. I have 2 really good jewelry pieces, 1 okay one. I really want to get a fell-touched piece. At, like, level 30, almost immediately, I went into the second part of this run in my, like, practice run, but like I said, I got really good jewelry, and I'm not entirely sure how well this is going to go if I have, like, yeah, 2 completely useless pieces of jewelry, no fell-touched. No terror from below is, like, probably fine. I'm also a little bit low on artifact power, but that's okay, I think. Okay. Probably fine. What am I looking at for time here? 27 minutes? Okay. It's fine. This.
Where shall I strike? I will open the way.
Level 30.
I sense powerful magic.
Yeah, so I could go do the next part right now if I wanted to. But I don't. Mostly because I want more gear. Okay, that's good. Those are upgrades. I'm not using Berserk mainly because it's not going to meaningfully increase my damage on this guy. And I would like to do a really big pull after this. I'll save this quest. Yeah. I'll save this. I do want to do some of the Theon whatever quests over here. Knock that out first. Just because, like I said, I'm not thrilled with my jewelry right now. Sure, we got that quest done. Sandris the Dishonored. Multiple mob pull. I think there's supposed to be more mobs in this area. Motherfucker leashed. But yeah, I guess you can't go out of the fucking house. There's supposed to be some around the door. And everything. Nothing here has any leash range whatsoever. That thing. There's no. I was gonna say if that leash. Just fucking way. Okay, let me turn in the quest.
We must protect the land. Find me when Kagraxis has been slain. I sense an evil presence here.
I care about this. Ah. Okay, that's a good necklace. At least we got... where am I at for meta quests? Yay. You know what? I'm actually going to turn this stuff in. I think the artifacts stuff in my order hall will be enough to get me, like, a decent amount of starting gear. So I'm actually just going to do that. And then I'm even going to turn in these quests. Just because I really... Like, having a few more good pieces of gear right now, I'm telling you, it's going to make the rest of the run significantly easier. I also want to make sure, did I gather herbs? I'm gonna re-roll that one. Doesn't matter. And these. How many more do I need? Let's see. I'll complete it here and then I'll return to Dalaran. You can get a bunch of new infinite research quests. Do I want to go back to Dalaran right now? No, I don't think I do. Yeah, fuck it. We don't need to go back to Dalaran immediately. Well, when I finish the other infinite researches, we'll do it then. I think that'll work out quite well. Zerk. Alright. I should also note, the fact that I'm doing this run close to reset doesn't really matter at all for the purposes of this. Technically speaking, it can be worth doing, like, I mean, if I were to do a, like, raid speedrun, I could maybe do, like, 2 Emerald Nightmares if it was, like, really close back-to-back to reset. Actually... Man. I'm...
Set them free before they meet a terrible fate.
What's the ability while pacified? I'm kind of playing like shit, I'm gonna be honest right now. My brain is fucking not here. I am, like I said, I'm pretty tired. What do we have for played? 32 minutes, we're fine. It's fine. But yeah, I'm playing like shit. I need to go to Dalaran because at this point I need to turn on Heroic World here. You know? Just being a fucking idiot.
What is history? It's a series of variables.
It's fine. Kind of wanted to do this anyway. These guys. I would like to get a new set. Doesn't matter.
Time is set in sand, not stone.
Abandon this. Do I have any rerolls? No, I don't.
Change is good.
None of that matters. Yeah, so I didn't really get any good ones, but it's fine. None of this stuff matters, right? Yeah, none of this. We got another Band of Callous Dominance. Not that it makes a difference. Any of this good? That's okay. It's fine, I guess. Yeah. And the belt is alright. Alright, well... Decent amount of Artifactium Sands. Maybe some more from here. Do all this. This is worth it for the extra sand. I maybe could have done this while waiting on some roleplay in a little bit. I want to grab this. Oh, actually, because we get the daily reset, I didn't even think of this. We get this quest. Fuck it, I'm gonna take it because my jewelry has been so absolutely dog water, and that's the only thing I get out of it. One additional piece of jewelry. And in this particular case, you know what? That does help. We're gonna go here. We'll do this. Technically, you can just fly directly to Suramar, and that's what I was planning to do, but I wanted the extra caches because we want every last bit of chance at getting better gear. And the difference in travel time is actually extremely minimal, just because this takes you, like, directly into Suramar anyway, so it's like, whatever. Ithnala Kanesh. This. We teleport to Suramar. Alright. So.
She must have come this way. Keep looking.
Guys, I forgot to turn on Heroic World Tier. I went all the way back and I forgot to turn on fucking Heroic World Tier. We're just gonna... we're actually gonna use a Nostwin's voucher. It's fine. By the time I need to go to Dalaran again, 11 minutes will have passed my Hearthstone will be back home. Fucking idiot! Fucking idiot! Wake the fuck up! Drink more coffee, you fucking moron. What is wrong with me, man? Why am I so fucking stupid? Whatever. Whatever. Get it all out of my system now. Don't fuck up for the rest of this. At least... what would be really embarrassing, like I said, my test run time was 1 hour 23 minutes. I at least want to beat my fucking test run time, right? Look like a moron if I couldn't do that. Alright. Now we get to the good shit. So, if you are watching this, and you have an idea of what I am about to do, I want to be clear about something. Do not fucking blame me for this shit, right? So, I have known about this since the very start of Remix. Somebody told me about it on day 2 of the event. And I have kept it to myself this entire time, but I've seen multiple people talking about it on Reddit, in videos, and stuff. At this point, if this gets nerfed, it's not my fault. I can show this publicly in a video, and you cannot blame me if this gets nerfed. I'm even posting this on my second channel, so less eyes on it. But, if you have no idea what it is I'm doing, you look at my damage breakdown, this Lay Infusion buff does crazy damage. So effectively, what this allows me to do is, playing a tank spec, I can put on Heroic World Tier, and starting from level 30 in Suramar, and this only works in Suramar, mind you, I can just farm mobs. I'm basically doing an open world boosting strat, but I'm boosting myself. Because I'm able to very efficiently kill anything as long as I can survive the pull, because Lay Infusion just does all the damage I need. Actually, Light's Vengeance kind of popped off there. You have to grab the buff every 20 minutes. It does expire on death, so if you die, obviously this really screws your time. We are going to just, you know, boost myself. That's the strat. At least for this section of the run. And like I said before, if you don't want to do this, remember when I said that some people are probably going to be like, oh, you know, this is cheesy, blah, 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 blah. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. Right? You can see I just... Those mobs gave me 2 fucking levels, right? Mob XP in Suramar is fucking crazy, and it's really efficient because of this buff. If you do not want to do this yourself, just level in Val'Sharah, and it's a perfectly fine way to level. Do not give me shit about this. I don't even know where this fucking Doombringer came from. I don't remember this guy being here. Either way. Until I get my... Did I get my artifact ability just now? I did. Oh my god, it auto-picks Storm. That's crazy. I need to... Okay, quickly shift out. Get this. That's good. There's a very awkward period of time right around now where I am extremely vulnerable to dying. You can see, I'm taking some damage. When I get to, like, level 50-ish, Druid gets a lot of really powerful talents, and from that point on, I'm virtually unkillable. But until then, we are very scared. You can see there I almost died, but I leveled up. A lot of times, you're relying on that with, like, this high XP percent. Your level ups are actually like a defensive cooldown. It's kind of wild. This area in particular is really efficient. But there's a lot of sections around Suramar that are really nice for farming. The problem, like, main reason with this, right, is like I said, I needed to get all of those upgrades. This is not easy. You can't just walk in here with crap gear, even as a Guardian Druid, and expect to survive this. You will get your cheeks clapped. So you need to be really careful about this. We're going to take the upgrades. Sometimes you get gear upgrades from mobs. Not that often, but it can happen. We'll take what we can get. I don't know how I accidentally got shifted. I think, oh yeah, when I Spent a talent point, it does that sometimes. So I'm going to do this until level 50. I believe at level 50 I unlock the bonus infinite research assignment for killing mobs. So at that point, I should have the demon questline done. So I'll be able to head out, turn in that stuff, and that'll give me some, like, intermediate upgrades. I also don't have Iron Fur. I should probably get that now. This is how I actually could really use the survivability. I'm actually going to use the backpedal thing for survivability for once. The rare useful situation that actually comes in handy. Okay, let's get Iron Fur finally, and let's get Soul of Forest, sure. I use my remix time here because I have a lot of little cooldowns that I can get back up. My Mark of the Wilds fell off at some point. I don't know when that happens. Ooh. One really scary thing I've noticed is a lot of these, like, Nightborn guys, they will charge you and it does magic damage. It hits really hard. So there were a few times I pulled, like, a big pack of mobs, and before I could press anything, I just got 100 0'd by their, like, arcane charge and then insta-melee. So, like I said, it's really, really spooky. One of the reasons why I think Guardian Druid might be really good for this, though, more so than a lot of other options, is, like, this stuff, I think Death Knight is really good for, Prop Paladin's probably really good for, but Guardian Druid just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Ooh, I'm dead. Yep, I'm dead. Alright. Unlucky. Okay, that's bad. Dying severely fucks you here. But I'm gonna be completely honest, it's, like, almost fucking unavoidable. Unfortunately, that's way too early. I did not expect to die that soon, but we just have to go back and get our buff. Yeah, and it was literally exactly what I said, right? I pulled too many of those fucking blade guys. I just didn't expect to get chunked that hard. As for what the fastest way to refresh this buff is, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know. There's a few of these ley infusion things scattered around. There's technically one in there, but there's, like, a lot of running that's required to actually access it. This one, at least, I think is pretty close by. The bigger one is sometimes the buff item spawns here. And if it's really close to the entrance, then it's not that bad to grab it. But a lot of times it spawns all the way at the back, and, you know, that sucks. What are you gonna do? So, like I said, I'm not gonna try and optimize this a ton. Obviously, if you wanted to really optimize this, just, you know, don't die for it. You can get better jewelry, you could, you know, there's a lot of things that could be done to make this a little bit more efficient. But, I don't know, I don't really enjoy this a whole lot. I think it's kind of dumb. I'm doing it just basically to demonstrate that even, like, done very roughly on a tank spec, you can make this work. Non-tank spec, yeah, you're gonna have a hard time, admittedly. But it is fast. What can I say? It is fast. And the thing is, we're in the worst part of this for Guardian. The moment I hit, like, the 50s, the moment I get Galactic Guardian and all of the arcane damage talents, Guardian is just an unkillable juggernaut. Initially, I actually wasn't sure if I'd be able to continue farming this for long past level 70, and I tried this on some other classes, and the moment I passed level 70, this was basically impossible to do. Guardian actually manages it, because Guardian 70 to 80 is, like, insanely strong. It is probably the best 70 to 80 leveling spec. Because, Elun's Chosen is just so busted. It synergizes so well with, like, the standard Guardian leveling builds. And then, obviously, you know, the further you go, the more of these, traits that you unlock. It gets really good. Alright, so we need to get a few more demons before we hit level 50. Because at level 50, we have to go back and do the infinite research turn-in. I don't have Noswin's Voucher off CD, but that's fine. The thing is, if I leave, I need to go back and refresh my buff anyways, so that's fine. So I can do my Hearthstone. I do Hearth, and then I have to fly back into Suramar and just grab my buff on the way. And that's kind of the thing here. Like, I lost a little bit of time because I had to grab the buff again, but what are you gonna do? Alright, we got all the demons that we need. Jesus. Dude. There's no way I'm taking that much damage from a random fucking mob. Oh, there's no fucking way. I've already died more times than I did in my test run. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know why. I'm getting fucking spanked by a random fucking mob. The thing is, I'm doing this way more efficiently than my test run, so... Fuck! I'm gonna Hearthstone anyway. Because the quest turn in XP, it's a little bit worse than I would have wanted, but the turn in XP will get me to 50, which will get me the quest that I wanted to do. So in the end, I don't lose that much time, but it still fucking sucks, and I'm just pissed off. That one, I don't even think I can blame on just, like, not being focused. That's just fucking bullshit. Heroic World Tier is just fucking garbage, if we're being real. You know, some people really fucking love it, but it's trash. It's really trash. Residual time motes. Yeah, here to slay. Alright, we'll grab residual time motes. Can I fucking grab residual time motes, game? Is that okay with you? Let me fucking grab it. A new set of research assignments. Kill any enemies. Sure. Speak about my progress. Oh, shit. I should have abandoned this, because I was never actually going to complete that. And now, if I get, if I reroll here, we're trying to get 6 quests completed. Yeah, shit. Alright, well, we got it. So we did get the one that I wanted. Which is good, but now our progress towards that's going to be a little bit hindered. It shouldn't matter, because I'm not going to turn this in until past 70 anyway, and I will have had enough quests completed by that point. Alright, so we have to take some upgrades here. I got Lure of the Unknown Depths, but it's pretty weak, so I don't care about that too much. And what about this? Sure. Take some upgrades, because we do need a little bit to get us over the hump. Okay. Alright. We're fine. We're still making good time, especially because we're at the fastest section of the run here. I have enough ancient mana. Yeah, you have plenty. You get so much ancient mana doing this, so it hardly matters. I can spend some talent points. Galactic Guardian, Loon's Favored. Yeah, so now we have all the really big ones. I somehow managed to, while not looking, faceplant in lava, and I cannot find a way out. There's no fucking way. I mean, I don't know if this is, like, the unluckiest I have ever been during a run. Like, you could argue that some of this is my fault, but, like, what are the odds that, like, the one fucking pixel that I managed to land on is... You're fucking joking. And there's no easy shoreline. I've never seen this, and this mob refuses to... I am... Woo! I am about fucking... One more garbage thing happening from putting a fucking hole in my computer screen. This is really, really, really frustrating, man. I just wanted to record this stupid run and then go to sleep. And it really did not want to make my life easy in the slightest, did it? I also have not gotten a single spawn of Slave Lord in the fucking entrance! You know, just once throughout this fucking run would be nice. It's always the back. I'm losing my shit here a little bit. I'm losing my shit. Losing my shit. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. So, see a teensy little fucking bit. Just would love for the game to throw me like a singular bone. Just one bone. One bone would be much appreciated. The tiniest little bone. Oh, Twin Moonfire, sure. Alright. Alright, what do we got? Buff Mark of the Wild. Do that when I'm not trying to gain elevation. Could have gone poorly. We're fine though. This time I cannot die. I need to stay alive for a good while. As long as I don't mess up again, we're fine. Considering I have all the really broken druid talents now, we should be fine. Let's get our talent points spent. Flashing Claws, Lord of the Grove, do that.
Your death is certain.
No mercy for outlanders.
Feel the might of the Shal'Dorei.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's the shit I like to see. Every fucking interrupt I can get on those Night Bolts I'm gonna take. This magic damage is rough. I do have a lot of the good Guardian Druid magic mitigation talents now, so it should be less of a concern, but magic damage still kicks my ass. Let's do Cycle of Life and Death. That's sure.
Your death is certain. Die, outlander.
An early frenzied regen, because God knows I'm going to take enough damage to justify it. Get a remix timeout after this. How's my artifact looking? Yeah, we're not at the end yet, so I can. Like I said, I think it's around level 70-ish. Might be like level 73 maybe, when I'm gonna hit the cap. And at that point, I can stop looting mobs because it won't matter. But until I've gotten all of my traits unlocked, we do want to keep looting. Let's go Incarn.
Your death is certain.
Okay, good. What do we got? Nice magic damage. Whoa! So these were the mobs that were kicking my ass earlier. My gear, for the record, my gear is relatively speaking worse now. This is just how powerful, like, the 50 range Guardian Druid talents are. The big thing is, like, you might be like, oh, well, if you look at your damage breakdown, isn't all of your damage still the proc? But in addition to just Guardian Druid's survivability going through the roof here, I get so many more, like, random damage effects, like my ticks are faster, and I don't know exactly how Ley Infusion works, but I'm pretty sure it's, like, whenever you do, like, an instance of damage, it has a chance to fire off one of these things. So what I suspect is happening is that all my little Moonfire ticks are just giving me, like, ridiculous Ley Infusion procs. So now that I have, like, all of the, you know, Galactic Guardian, the free procs, the Twin Moonfire, it just all adds up to Guardian Druid is an unstoppable wall.
To resist.
Hate having this, like, pedal thing now. Let's grab some more talents. What can we get? What can we get? We can get this. That. Okay. I just took a massive chunk of damage from somewhere, but you could see even there, we're a little bit more resistant to those one. Oh, I see what it was. I see what it was. Those random summoned Lost Legion Dune Guards will put, like, this Brimming Blaze thing on you, and it does, like, ungodly amounts of damage. Okay, so I'm going to do one more pull. We've hit level 70, so the really bad scaling is going to start to kick in, like, right about now. So I'm just going to get all my cooldowns off, just to kill, like, a handful more mobs. Because, you know, might as well. And now, we're going to do some residual time modes. I'm going to die to this fucking shit. Crap. Okay, I kind of fucked that up just because I panicked since the on-death dot was ripping me to shreds. I'm gonna quickly do this. What are we looking at for slash played? 59 minutes. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. So I do this. Like I said, I think sub 1 hour for this. I don't know. Like, absolutely perfectly. I'm not gonna rule it out. But it's tough to say. And this will just give me one more of those quests. The big turn in. Alright. Now I'm going to Dreamgrove Portal. And then we're going to do all of those quests. All of that big turn in stuff. And then we can head back to the Infinite Bazaar. We can turn in everything there. What do I want? Care about any of this? Not really. Sure. So we'll turn in all that stuff, get some gear upgrades. Did I get anything here? No, I actually didn't loot any gear off those mobs. That feels maybe a little bit unlucky.
What do you ask of nature? Nature's gifts.
Stone Paw. So we can go down here. This should also get me to all this stuff to 71, and then I'll be able to get my hero talents, which, as I said before, are very good. So that'll make the rest of the mob grinding even easier.
You're not one of my pack. The Moonwell water is essential.
Don't need to do the Moonwell water because that is part of the other quest. It's just, if I'm already down here, I may as well turn that one in. Gives a nice little chunk of XP. And you gotta recruit Zentabra. Here we can already see. Nice! Finally, Terror from Below. Good ring. Love to see it. I need all the Artifactium sand we can get. Over here, I don't know why this lady's indoors.
Be careful. Farewell.
We're gonna get another quest. Piece of gear. Artifactium sands. Gotta go down this way.
I'm awake. I would be glad to lend my skills to the Order, Archdruid. I have heard great things about you.
Did I leave any quests in Valshara? No, so I won't need to go back and do that. Okay.
Sorry for the interruption, but we're going to jump you.
Alright, and you can see here, look at all of those just free quest completions. That's why we do that.
This experiment will eventually end, so we have to be wise about how we spend our time.
We're also going to do this one
See, everything is the
because it's
same.
pretty fast.
Except now, we are in control of our own time. We're ready to proceed.
Go talent. We could go down the middle.
Planted in the dirt, right?
Sorry for the interruption, but we're going to jump you forward in time.
I'm going to use all my cooldowns here because
Like the turn has mentioned
why not?
before, this experiment will eventually end, so we have to be wise about how we spend our time. See, everything
Also, yeah, I can do all this
control of our own time. We're
fancy unboxing. I don't know if this quest was worth it. Hard to say. I think there's one after this.
Great Hoof and tell him what transpired.
Either way.
Left of this thing.
The nightmare's spread has gone further than we thought.
There is, yeah, but that was one that, in the last test I did in Valshara. Alright, that's fine. We're gonna do a dollar on Hearthstone here, because I will probably need Noswin's voucher for the end of the run. I'd like to have it. Gonna head over this way. Worth noting, I've mentioned this a few times, you do not need to do this quest. A lot of people think you need to do that quest in order to get the buff. That is not true. It is, the buff is given automatically, the quest is purely cosmetic. Now we're going to turn it in, because it still gives me a box and XP, but the quest does not matter. Nice, we got a upgrade there, that's good. Slick glove upgrade, bunch of artifaction sands. I'm going to do all this scrapping now. Belt's bad, yeah. Nice. Decent amount of artifaction sand there. This stuff, yeah, it actually doesn't matter. So, probably shouldn't have needed to do that. I'll do the quest one. I maybe should have grabbed that earlier. I just figured the odds of me getting the quest one back-to-back was low. Okay, this doesn't matter. We're not going to do any of those. And now we just have to go back to Suramar. We go back to Suramar, and we mob grind the rest of the way. And then I should have a few more infinite researches to turn in at the end. And what do I get from this? Okay. I don't care about... Do I care about Iron My Scars?
Exiled Lightborn.
Honestly, the Holy Light one is decent.
set them free before they meet
It's not like amazing, but it does pretty well. Still get one by the entrance. Alright, so what are we looking like for Slash Blade? Oh yeah. So I basically have 20 minutes to just not fuck up and kill mobs. We should be fine. And yeah. See, you wouldn't even notice there was a scaling issue. With all of that just gigantic influx of gear, now, my item level is still not great, but also, a lot of the stuff holding me back is jewelry. So I have a few jewelry pieces holding me back. Overall, my scaling is actually very close to where it should be at this point, after getting all of those instantaneous upgrades. So it works out quite well to do it this way. Now we have more than enough to just carry us home. Yeah, I replaced those. All right. Probably won't get any more gear upgrades for the remainder of the run. And we're not at the end yet. So I'm gonna stick with Storm. Honestly, especially for leveling, Storm is very good. Like, yes, you can go with Spike once you unlock it, but for 99% of people, unless you have max infinite knowledge and are doing shit like this, where you get, like, tons of infinite power while leveling, because, like, the amount of infinite power this gives, farming these mobs in Suramar, it's crazy. It's one of the reasons you're even able to reach the end. But the Storm bonus is actually pretty good. Like, obviously, Lay Infusion is doing most of our damage, but the other thing about the Storm bonus is it's doing a lot of little ticks of damage. And remember, that's what makes Lay Infusion rock. Oh my god. Had so much to loot that it actually lagged me out there. Remix time real quick. Really want to get rid of that Doombringer. Good, 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 good. I think I've reached the end. No, not quite. I still need a little bit more. Unspent talent points. Alright. Sure. One of the only issues with this is it's very possible to overshoot with turning in your infinite researches. And you might think like, oh, we'll just go turn them in at like level 79 and then farm here on the way back. But when we leave the zone, we have to refresh our buff. So what actually happened in my test run is I barely miscalculated it. And I was like ever so slightly short. But then I actually lost like 2 minutes because of the time that it took me to refresh my buff just to get that like last 1 bar I was missing. You know, I could have just been killing a few more mobs, so it was not worth it. So I'm going to be waiting until like I'm absolutely 100% sure that we're ready to go. And on that note, I should probably check. I actually don't remember which ones I have. I think it's just the rare elites, right? No, I will have 2, because we'll also have 250 enemies. Okay, let's fucking equip that, sure. Also, I missed a box. That was a way earlier box. Take the Artifactium Sands. remix time shortly. Yeah, okay, we've reached the ends of the tree. You can see I'm getting so many just random legendary things from these mobs. This is actually a very good infinite power farm, I should know. Obviously, now we have Centinax, so, you know, nothing is going to compare to Centinax for level 80s, but like, this is actually a spot that I used a little bit early on. And, oh yeah, so, another thing about this, there's obviously a lot of areas in Suramar with a bunch of elite mobs, and you might be like, oh, well, if Lay Infusion just one-shots everything, why not just go farm the elites? It's not that easy, right? There's a reason why this still doesn't compare to actual boosting methods. You know, it's not a one-to-one replacement. If you try to farm some of the really, really, really difficult elite areas, you will die. You will still die. Like, you can't just get away with doing that. It's not that simple. Those mobs will fuck your shit up. We're in an awkward position where, like, I don't have any cooldowns up, and I'm really close to the end, but I'm, like, pretty sure this isn't enough to get me there, so... let's do one more pull. This, plus my turn-ins, almost certainly enough. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely enough. Honestly, before that final pull, we might have been fine to just do a turn in there. But, like I said, you gotta be absolutely sure. Yeah, alright. 1 hour, 12 minutes. Yeah, you know, we'll take it. I'll take it. And like you can see, that was really messy. That was really fucking messy. I died twice. I think I might have died more. I don't know. I died a bunch of times. I made multiple small errors. I don't think any of the mistakes I made ended up costing a lot of time. A lot of them were like, oh crap, I lost 20 seconds of travel time, etc. So like, this is one of those things where yes, if you absolutely did this flawlessly, honestly sub 1 hour may be possible. But it's also, like I said earlier, kind of, why bother? Why try to heavily optimize this when outside of the restrictions that I put on myself, nobody really considers joining, you know, or pugging raids in Remix to be boosting, even though you're technically getting boosted by random people. Like, that's just part of it. And that you can do completely solo very easily. No problem at all. And it's significantly faster. So, although it is cool that you can do this, and it's not necessarily the easiest thing to pull off, but also it doesn't require having a separate account to boost you. So if you were really determined, for whatever reason, to level with this method, you know, it could work. It's not impossible. I don't know why this guy waved at me. I don't know if I know him. I used to play in Emerald Dream, so maybe. But also, I'm on a character named Larry Druid 2, which isn't really, well, a name that I use or anything. So, yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. Point being, this is more for demonstration purposes, and I just want to repeat, right? For anybody that skipped to the end and just saw, like, you know, all the Suramar farming stuff and is like, oh, you're using the Lay Infusion buff to kill mobs quickly, like, if you just quested in Val'sharah, which, like I said, I did a test where I did that, in Heroic World Tier, it took me about 1 hour, 50 minutes. And honestly, I think I lost time in Heroic World Tier. If I did it in normal World Tier, just questing in Val'sharah with 400% XP, like 1 hour 30, 1 hour 40. Probably. Ballpark. And that's not even, like, the fastest leveling method. There's way better options that don't even require boosting. So, like, you can do this. And, like, I don't know. I haven't really seen anybody even bother trying to do runs like this. So, is this the fastest run that you can possibly do with all these self-imposed restrictions? Maybe. Is there a faster method? Also maybe. Like I said, I don't really think anybody is looking into optimizing this because it's just kind of like, why would you try to optimize this when you can just run raids instead? which are very easy to optimize the time down from. So, I don't know. There's no real moral to this story. I'm not trying to, like, preach to you how you should level. If anything, I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to give you options. This is one of many. And I've said this before, but the goal of my final leveling guide, when I make it, which is probably going to be, like, sometime this week, hopefully maybe, it is literally my next to-do list. Right now, I'm completing these different test runs, and then we're going to make the guide. Because the goal of that is to showcase every single possible leveling strat in Remix when optimized. So I'm trying to optimize questing, optimize raids, optimize dungeons, and like when fully optimized, what is the fastest time that you can get with each one of these to give an accurate comparison of how fast these different leveling methods are. That's my goal here. So that if you really want to level with dungeon spam, for instance, you know, okay, this is how much time I can expect to lose relative to running raids or something like that. That's the idea. And I hope that that will be more appealing to people, because then at least they will have a rough outline for every single strategy. So even if one of them they can't do because, I don't have friends to help me, I don't like doing raids, I don't have 400% XP, there will at least be something that anybody can use in my guide to efficiently level. I'm going to try to be insanely thorough, which is also why it's taken me over a month to finish it, because I'm doing all of this effort and doing little speed runs like this. This run right here is basically just a stepping stone to making my guide more thorough and more detailed. That's all this is. Honestly, at first I wasn't even going to record it, but I've done a lot of boring tests where I'm just like getting boosted through raids or, you know, plugging my own raid groups and whatever. And like those runs aren't interesting to watch, but this one at least, you know, I have to do some decision making. It's actually kind of difficult to pull off. And, you know, I'm at risk of dying a lot of times. So I figured this is interesting enough that, fuck it. I'll turn it into a YouTube video. So I hope you enjoyed this. I will also note a few things. Some of it I said in the intro, but some of it I want to reiterate here. First, I'm going to be doing another speedrun later this week. Probably not for a few days, because at the time of posting this, I still have a lot of stuff I need to get done before Weekly Reset. And then my guild's doing 2 farm runs for sales. And I have to, you know, on Tuesday and Wednesday, both, you know, not only do the raids, but then also make sure that I'm spending time before the raids to get my alts prepared for split runs. So, like, you know, I gotta play the game, right? I actually play World of Warcraft outside of all this YouTube shit, believe it or not. So I have to do all that stuff. That's gonna eat a lot of time. I won't have time to work on videos for that period of time. But once all the raid stuff settles down for the week, I'm going to record another run. I've been saying for a while now that I'm going to do a fresh run on my European account with a 0% XP bonus just starting from scratch. I am finally going to do that run. The reason I've waited so long is because I wanted to do literally every single other test that I could possibly get done before I did that. I now have all of the knowledge that I could possibly gain on Remix leveling strats, and now with all of that in mind, I want to see, okay, how quickly can I level a brand new character? For reference, on North America, blind run, first time in Legion Remix, it took me like 8 hours and 30 minutes or something like that, ballpark. So I am certain I can shave time off that, but then there's a lot of other considerations, right? On your first run, you want to prioritize getting XP percent, but then where do you draw the line at, like, farming XP percent or just trying to level your first character quickly? Because obviously you get it to level 80, you get a token, etc. So there is definitely a cutoff point there where it stops becoming valuable. I'm going to try and play that by ear. I already have a lot of ideas. I don't have an exact route in mind because it's just so impossible to determine exactly how much XP everything's going to give. But I'm going to pull out all the stops. You'll basically see every single possible leveling run featured, or leveling method featured in that run, as I try and, like, take all of the most efficient bits of all these different strategies and combine them. Because when you have 0% XP, you can't just, like, mob grind in Heroic World Tier and magically reach level 80. And without high infinite knowledge, this strategy doesn't really work that well, because you're not going to have all of these power-ups on your artifacting. And this actually helps. Like, having Tempest Wrath, this does make a difference. So, I'm going to be doing that run later in the week, so I think that'll be semi-interesting. I hope that'll be semi-interesting for most of you. It's going to be much more of a traditional speedrun, I think, because it's going to be much longer, and there's going to be a lot of different steps instead of just mob grinding and cheesy stuff. So, finally glad I'll be able to get that done, and then with that run finished, I will have all of the information that I need to make my guide. That is the final test that I have in mind. I will then have all the knowledge, and then it's just a matter of somehow taking all of this information and combining it into a workable script, and then conveying the information in a concise but detailed method. That's the challenge with all those guides, as always. I don't want to make it like an hour long. It probably won't be, but, you know, can I get that video under 20 minutes? I hope! Because the longer the video is, the more of a nightmare it is to edit and get all that stuff, like, trimmed down. We'll see. We'll see. That's the current plan. That's literally the next thing up on my list. And then, again, small notes. If you haven't watched my 400% XP video, watch that. I put out a video for level 20 Twinks, so if you're interested in setting one of those up, check that out. And I will say a little bit of bonus, also for people who watch to the end here. At the very end of that level 20 Twink video, I showcased a very, 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 very broken infinite power farming strategy that I've been using. I've been keeping it relatively hush-hush and only mentioning it in, like, the very ends of these videos here. So if you watched here, I'm not going to repeat the strategy, but go check out that video, and you may find that strategy to be pretty useful. I've been using it a lot. It's very, very, very good, but I don't want Blizzard to nerf it, so I'm not going to make a video on, like, the next most broken infinite farming strategy after Centenax, and all I will say is that there are some key advantages to that strategy, which is why I prefer it over just mindless farming like Centenax or running raids, etc. But you'll have to watch the video to see what I mean. And then, finally, as a last note, again, I am recruiting people for the super-duper fast Legion Remix speedrun that we are currently cooking up. The goal is to pull that run off about a month from now. Early December. I know for a fact that I'm going to wait until they announce what the final phase of Legion Remix will contain. Because they've been insanely vague about it. They've said there's going to be catch-up mechanics. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean, like, you get more infinite power? That motes are transferable between alts? That, I don't know, there's, like, new quests or whatever? That the XP cap goes from 400% to 500%? I have no idea. Now, I assume it's going to be infinite power and, like, gear related. I don't think it's actually going to involve any XP changes at all. But that's the thing. I don't know. So I don't want to do a super fast speedrun, and then, like, one day later, Blizzard announces, oh, by the way, the XP cap is increasing with this final phase. So until we know for sure what's coming with that, we're not going to do the run. Which means that it's probably not going to happen until, like, very end of November at the earliest, because I suspect that's probably when they'll announce the contents of that phase. Because once they announce what it is, well, then I can be like, oh, if they say it's nothing and we have everything ready to go, I'll like, okay, we'll do the run now, if it doesn't actually pertain to us at all. But if we need to wait, then we need to wait. So that's the goal. All that means, by the way, is that if you maybe are interested in helping right now, but you're thinking like, but I don't really have any characters fully set up and stuff like that, if you're interested, for real, interested in helping with that run, there's still many, many, many weeks. And all I really care about is that we have willing participants who want to put in the help to, or the work to help make that run insanely cool. Like I said, the goal is sub 10 minutes. And we're going to get 30 to 40 people to participate. So if you want to be a part of that, I can use all the help I can get. And reach out to me on Discord, and I will walk you through the next steps. But anyways, I think we've gone on long enough. That is everything for this particular video. I hope you enjoyed this leveling run, as cheesy as it may have been, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.